Good morning, everyone. Because of my camera is not on from the host, it's a pleasure to be uh, part of my. So I put a camera on this. Okay, it's a pleasure of me to spending a day on more than 40 minutes for teaching you to balancing the ileum. So before I'm starting this point, I have to need to be given a simple one. We studied biomechanics to understand the normal function. We studied pathomechanics to understand the pathological biomechanical changes for correction. Not only understand. Like example, there is a worldwide statistics, and 85% of people going to face the low back pain their lifetime, out of which 25% of people going to suffer sacroiliac joint. But still, we are essay strain, Faber's test, figure of four test, compressive and distraction test. We do test to identify, we even Gallison test, all to be identify hypomobility of sacroiliac or iliosacral dysfunctions. Right? Out of which only inflammatory of sacroiliac joint is 6%. 94 are pathomechanical changes. But till date, we are not correcting any one structure, a pathologically change. Here I want to show, everybody's know this joint. That's the most important joint. That means the hip joint articulate with the this one hip bone, and the hip bone articulate with the sacrum. This is called sacroiliac and ilium. Ilium also called innominate. So we studied about anterior innominated and posterior innominated. But till date, in physiotherapy, in SA joint strain, we do generally taping, laser, ultrasound, cold pack, inflammation detection, but none of we try to find out how the ilium is dysfunction over the sacrum. So today I have a very simple way to teach you. So I'm going to show you practical one of two methods of correcting anterior and posterior. And first of all, I want to show what are the movement, physiological movement of sacroiliac joint. When you see this one joint, this it is a ilium, this is a hip bone, and then this is a sacrum. Whenever it's happening, this the two joints work. It had physiologically, whenever I'm going for a forward flexion, when I go to forward flexion, the ilium go posterior. Whenever I go to extension, go anterior. It is also synchronized with hip bone. Whenever I'm going for flexion in a certain limit, after that the ilium start motion. Thus, whenever I go for extension, after the 10 degree, it's go anterior. So when the going to ilium forwarded and come back to neutral, it means it's working normally. It's a physiological function of ilium. But if you hip rise to more than 10 to 110 degree, so ilium go posteriorly, I come back to neutral. That activity is not regularly I do. I'm started only after the 10 months. I'm trying to step up towards my ceiling. So what happened? It not come back to its original position. It stuck few millimeter before that. That's called pathomechanical changes of ilium. It is called as a physiotherapy posterior innominate. Posterior innominate. It is posterior innominate. What happened this hip joint? Whenever the ilium go posterior, the head of the femur is raised. So functional leg length becomes shortened. Whenever the ilium go anterior, the femur is go down. It's a functional leg length is increase. So here the key, the prone lying position, medial malleolus level, it is a very good advantage to understand what type of the ilium dysfunction can find out. Now the biggest question, how you do it? We have two tests. One is called pressure test, another is called applied kinesiology test. The applied kinesiology test, the based on only one concept. If the joint is articulated properly, it's deliver maximum muscle recruitment. If it is not articulated properly, it is subluxed, it will not give a recruitment pattern. Based on we are going to examine one. So now I'm going to teach you the two methods of examination of ilium, and ilium have physiologically, right? Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Give me
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yes.
You can go ahead, sir. Yes.
So because of I'm in Punjab, because of some of the farmers strike, some incident happened with the network. So in the throughout Punjab, there is a lot of internet problem. right? You heard about there is a Reliance Jio structure is damaged. All are getting problem. So today, point I left it. The ilium is had a two motion of physiological. One is called anterior, another one is posterior. In physiotherapy, it is called anterior innominate and posterior innominate. But in Cairo, then osteo, they say it is anterior and superior because it is not a translation motion. That's why AS ilium and PA ilium they used both on. So here we are going for examination point in two methods. One method is called functional leg length measurement, and the second method is applied kinesiology measurement. I have one patient and specially called for that. So we are going to record them how we perform. Because of the time is very less, I could understand. So that I'm starting. I hand over to the camera to Geeta. She will take care of this. And here we have this one model. What's her name? Nishu. So we are going to examine her and how to examine. Normally we do some tests, test. Here we are not doing anything. First of all, we have identified whether it is that information marker present or not. If it is not a marker, it's generally considered to be a functional pathomechanism of ilium. So once again, ilium physiologically, the two motion they do. One movement is called anterior, another motion is called posterior. It is also called in and ex. In generally called cross leg, it is considered to be an IIN, and cross the opposite knee joint is considered to be EX. So totally, we have the two axis and four motion. So what about upslip? Upslip is the non-functional, not physiological. It's the traumatic subluxation. So we will consider the later stage. We start with the 2-1, how to correct between the primary, that means which is including with the flexion extension along with V2. So ilium correction. Please lie down home. Are you here? So the patient is lying on floor. The face hold on the forehead support by towel to avoid nose pain. We did it here. Come. So when the patient is lying on straight, come here, close. Take the camera here. Camera here. You see, there is a malleolus. You can see the malleolus not in the same level, right? That means the one leg is shorter, one leg is longer. Now I have to identify which side is one. In the hypermobility may be any side. Okay, like an example, I had a trauma for 2 years back. My right sacroiliac is due to trauma dysfunction. It is hypermobility for longer period. Then left side will become hypermobility due for compensation. So now training on left side, my right side hypermobility is not addressed. So if you treat the pain side, the pain always aggravates. So here we have to, based on examination, which side involvement. So let's see how to come. So come here closely. You see there is a the leg length. This is longer, this is shorter. As per biomechanics, this is longer, it's maybe anterior superior ilium. It is also called anterior innominate. The short leg is, it's maybe posterior innominate or PA ilium. So now we have to test. What happened? What is pressure test? Just push ischial tuberosity down. I make a posterior and check leg length. It's not changed. So once again, I push forward the ilium and check the leg length. So remains same. That means this is stable nuclear equilibrium of this one. Now I'm going for the opposite side. I try to push posteriorly, make it a more posterior. So I'm seeing huge difference. I try to push forward of ilium. It come closer. It come closer. Come. It's come closer. That means the push test is positive on right side, not left side. The right side, I try to push the ilium into forward. What happened? The leg length is adjust. That means the left side, right side is unstable equilibrium. That means it is subluxed. So here, what's the diagnosis? Right side PI ilium. It is also called a posteriorly nominated. Very simple. So what happened? What is the pain normally seen? Normally pain is seen in normally pain is seen in the upper portion. There may be a small collection or pain is here. If it's asilium, the pain is come here, and this is more. That's why the lateral view is the denomination is see bigger in ileum. It is also pain in upper portion. This is called asilium. So now the pain is in upper right. She had a pain in this place. So now the ileum is had a pain. So now I have to correct it. So how to correct this? Very simple to correct it. We have to use two methods: short liver method and long liver. So right on this side. Move method side. Side. Get out. Pass my job. Get out. Pass up. So make the patient. The camera straight. Make a patient. It's a comfortable in two positions. Now I'm going for short lever constant method to correction. How you do? The affected leg up, put it, and unaffected leg straight. Clear? So I'm not make a flexion, because if I make a flexion, it changes area. And for the hand is and it is bended. So this is the position. The leg and body is the one line position. So and fit the ilium. What will work? Ilium to forward. So you the ilium and push it towards forward. One, two, breathing. Without the there's a nice click at the sacroiliac. So this position is called short lever constant method. Where I push, very simple. The hip joint is like this. I push the ilium into forward. That is the movement. Push into the forward. So what happens? The posterior ilium going to anteriorly with a few millimeter. So whenever the few millimeter move, that will be back to neutral. My pain is gone. I can do all everything. That's why I want to say we studied biomechanics to understand the movement. We studied pathomechanics to correction for the purpose. So now the first one ilium correction method is called short lever constant method correction. Next, we consider to how to correct ASLM. So here I want to teach you one long method that it is called Chicago method. How to make a Chicago method? Very simple. So here we diagnose right side ilium. I'm using this model for ASLM. First of all, it's wrong. Because of we diagnose and treat it, we consider opposite leg as an ASLM. How to make it? So the latest and see the this is the orthopedical procedure. It's developed by Chicago Institute. That's why it's called Chicago. It consists of three level of correction of ASLM. So what happened in ASLM? Leg length longer. The pain is below PSI. And the lateral view of ilium is smaller than that one. This all indicated how to correct of this. Now we come to area. The first correct of right side. Now I am going to correct the left side long leg. This long leg considered to be aram se lift up and cross it. The first of all, aram se right here. The long leg, affected leg should be above. This is a long liver method. And put a head on the thing. So hold it. Now I have to stand above the umbilicus so that my pressure, the vector direction, can be superior to inferior, anterior to posterior. That's why I said the vector forces always considered to be anterior superior to posterior and inferior. Yes, I could understand. That's a new name, lot of confusions. Very simple. Once again, a review of this. What is a we have only 40 minutes, already past 10, 15 minutes. So the ilium, its work like this way. While walking, right? Whenever we have the step up on this tool of right side, come back to neutral. Step up, back to neutral. But in a wrong time, in the wrong posture, we step up but come back to before it's neutral. Is stuck before the neutral. The leg length is shorter. It's called posterior innominate. It is also called a PI ilium. Got it? So that leg length is shorter. Got it? So now I'm in the bathroom. I am trying to slip. What if my leg is extended? It crossed 20 degree and 30 degree. What happened? Ilium moves forward and come back to neutral, not reached. It struck before few millimeters. It considered to be anterior denominated. So what about that leg length is increased? So leg, it's called functional leg length. You can go to the net. The evidences you can find out. Functional leg length examination and its reliability. It's highly reliable. Many people use chiropractor, osteopath, many people using as a leg length as an instrument tool of examination. So what we did, when we push into the wrong direction, see the leg changes. We push into the right direction changes. If it doesn't change, that means that side is non-subluxated. It's a stable neutral equilibrium. Which side is my push? Work on that leg length. That means it is subluxated. So we should correct that point. So that's why I teach one method of short-lived constant PI ilium method. But here, a vector is the more major important. My force, not in the ischial tuberosity, my force is on the ilium. So when I put the ilium, I push forward because there is a posterior. So I have to push to anterior and superior direction for correction of few seconds. You will click only get it from the sacroiliac joint, not from the lumbar spine. Don't turn too much in this point. So that will reduce the problem of this one. So Chicago method for long lever method correction of AXLM. So once again, lie down supine. Capital leg is crossed. This leg length is also longer, and her left side is imaginary is the anterior superior. I stand in a walk stand position so that I can push from anterior to posterior. Turn her very gently. Hook the scapula, and my one hand, just my palm and cover ilium bone, and I push to posterior and inferior. Very nicely. Breathe in and breathe out during the third one. This is the first method of correction of Chicago method. And second, cross the arm. Kabaddi, whenever you want to cross the arm, it should be like this. Pony Cooper means elbow on elbow. And just to hook the hand, now I block the thoracic spine, roll it, hook it, on the end, breathe in and breathe out. Good one. This is the two method is more than sufficient to correct anterior superior ilium in the long lever method for this correction. So we learned two methods. One method for short leg, one leg for long method. So the next one is what is applied kinesiology? How to do the applied kinesiology examination? Very simple method. This once again said subluxation board recruit less muscle and normal it produce more contraction. So we already did with the patient, but I want to show bone position. Right. So how to do? Very simple. We take now one leg that's a reactive leg. We have sufficient of less time, so we can take any one leg that's preferred to be dominant. It should be preferred. But in chiropractic, we have to check which one is the reactive leg. So here we have not checked the reactive leg. Straight away go the right dominant. Why? Because of the dominant leg highly networked within a network system. So here we are taking the Waterloo cushioner, the which we can use for pickup, kick, and protective system. So we are taking the leg is the flexion of that leg. You just see the flexion 90 degree, angle of pull. Ask the patient to again modo. This is her and the efficiency of the muscle power. This is the muscle power. Whenever I try to subluxate any bone, the power is lost. Whenever I try to cover the bone, this is anterior, this is a posterior. When I press, it's come back. So I press here, the power loss. That means it indicated if I push towards in the subluxated direction, muscle power comes. Whenever I push to try to correction that direction, the muscle recruitment is increased. It is called applied kinesiology test. You can use it by many, like even kinetics people use, chiropractic people use, and moving part system people use, osteopath can use. So this is the one of the reliable second method. First method is functional leg length. Second method is applied kinesiology. So what are things we learn? Now, SI joint not find out the hypomobility. Also, you find out the which side is subluxed. So don't depend on it's cold pack, ultrasound, IFT. It's needed, but the basic is biomechanics should be corrected. That's why I said advanced biomechanical correction. We studied biomechanics. We know if more than 120 degree of hip joint followed by ilium is moved. So if it is the ilium dysfunction, we treat ilium, not a hip joint, not a sacrum. And also it's mostly important. And once again, I point out, ilium is the one. There is a different dysfunction. Ilium dysfunction into two portions. One is the anterior, posterior, upslip, downslip, IM, EX. Then sacrum had a 6-axis. Had a 6-axis. And should adopt two concept, interdisciplinary approaches. Only one purpose, benefit of patient. We are very good healers. We should know biomechanics. We know biomechanics. We should know how to correct the mathematics. That's what's my request. So we can get and we can correct many cases within a few sittings and back to normal. So if a patient comes with a sacroiliac dysfunction, what's the complaint? Sir, turning on bed is problem, sitting to standing is a problem, and sir, I'm extreme range is this problem. Can be rectified by this method permanently. So that time, I'm request everyone to learn biomechanics, mechanics, and how to correct this. I will become to on, please. Thank you, Nishu. Yes, I'm ready to give an answer if it is anything. Sorry if it is a network, anything wrong, and apology from my side. So I have some overlapping between this. My OPD start from 11 o'clock in another place, so that I have to manage from here. We don't have Wi-Fi here. So through the Airtel, thanks to Airtel, they are supporting me for this. And question and answer, there is some questions has come up. How maintain the new balance mechanism after the correcting of this three methods? The first question I want to give an answer. Penal. If you strengthen the muscle, how you maintain it? Very simple. Repeated action and functional regain and bare feet to walk. When the patient is walk again with a bare feet, understand the proprioception weight bearing, it will be maintained very well. It's the same like biomechanics of the car wheel alignment. If a wheel alignment, if it is wrong, you correct the wheel. You have to drive very well with the proper, not putting the vehicle on the pits. So basically, what do you want to say? The good physical activity is a good rehabilitation for me. So whenever you treat, whenever corrected, please add up of all activity. Don't stop. Don't do this. We are a physiotherapist, not a making the person to handicap or disabled. So the barefoot walk and exercise program, we can maintain the muscles like anterior ilium is controlled by rectus femoris, iliacus, and quadratus lumborum. The posterior ilium is controlled by piriformis and hamstring. We can maintain it this one with the area. Applied concentrations can we create more subluxation, pushing the hands towards strengthen or decrease? No. Basically we apply it's only 20% of the muscle efficiency. We are not creating any subluxation because we push the area very gentle towards one. Whenever we remove it, it's clear. It's only part for the testing purpose, nothing to do. So you heard about I practiced last 10 years on this method. I'm start from 10. Yesterday night I proudly say we crossed 190 occasions. So it's possible. Everything is to correct the one. And the next one is question is during the pressure test, also why the leg length decrease and change? Of course, it's a test. It is nothing. It is basically what happened. When you push the ilium, it's shifted the ilium back. Then in few seconds, go back to neutral. It's a test, not a correction. When you correct it, it will be remain same. The pressure test and ilium shifted, hip joint also shifted. That's what I want to say. This is the ilium, this is the hip joint. Whenever I go forward, the ilium go down. Whenever I go in ilium posterior, the hip go up, the shorten. Then. Can you please give me a brief idea of upslip and downslip? Very nice. The upslip is normally, upslip in the normal. If I am person try to do upslip, it's not possible. I have to jump from anywhere the place. It is more like this. That's why it's called not a physiological action. Not a physiological action. So if it is upslip, it's for me, I prefer use of upslip to downwards. In sideline position, use the slip into the down. After that, they will get a better recovery. And QL to be reduced is 1. And the next two test, upslip. How do you we effective or not did apply the correction? How do we need check that? Yes, of course. You have the two answers. You can check again. You can check again whether you did a right or wrong. There is a YouTube channel? Yes, I have, but very limited, very lazy person. I put very limited YouTube channel because I'm more interested to see the patient, do the research, and taking the classes. So that I had a less chance. I put it. We need a strengthening exercise. Sorry, dear. Basically, what happened when the muscle power is 5 of the patient, how you want to check rather than the concept of strengthening word into the new word is called overaction to be inhibitory. Overaction of abnormal movement can be inhibitory, abnormal motion of the muscle to be stopped. If it is a low firing, it should be increased. Don't say the common word of strengthening. Thank you for such informative. Thank you, Binal. And there is a biomechanical fault is necessary to go through directly for a trust manipulation because of manipulation might be due to muscular imbalance can be area. So if in a small question, Samir, if your shirt hanging on the hanger, the hanger is tilted, the shirt is tilted. Treat hanger first or treat shirt first? For me, I give opportunity to treat the skeletal system first, then I make it a balance because the kinesiological character, if you imagine it, I can say the most important. If ilium is shifted forward, what about my iliacus? Iliacus is shortened. Whenever I try to release, it will not release it back to the ilium, then go for release. So I for my side, in my view, I align bone first, I treat soft tissue second. It's my view, it's not anything. Best plan is genuvarum, food modification, any intervention. Yes, of course, you can throughout the body, you can get many changes, you can do it. So the different problems can be rectified by biomechanical. From the toe to the head to occiput, all you can correct this method. It does amazingly work. You give me any patients with it, I can give it to one sitting, there is a changes. So I'm saying the physiotherapy need to be in a new horizon. So, in physiotherapy, where everybody is asking about one word called evidences. We are the one we have to create evidences. Go through it, ResearchGate, find me, Google Scholar, find me, and very good publication throughout. We are making CPG at the spinal cord. We're getting funded from this cause. And DS, Department of Science and Technology, is giving fund to physiotherapy. We have more than 2 crores. It's a older one. 2 crores of funding for area. Even we have the private partnerships like Medicad, BTL India, Cadila. Everybody's ready for research. So I wish everyone. I see the infrastructure of KLU. Really, I'm impressed. I'm blessed. Wishes you all our people are really this one. And treatment of correction of scoliosis, yes, primary and secondary scoliosis is fully corrected possible. We can give a very good response. It is also, we need to look for surrounding music to correcting the dysfunction should be focus point. We need to look after the surrounding muscle? Of course, after the skeletal system, you should focus on musculature. That's the most important. Very simple, Narkesh, Narkeesh. You can put it anywhere, and the only one part in the world is I am, right? So, any option, any questions, narkesh@gmail.com is my primary, otherwise narkesh@pbi.ac.in. It's my official, and wherever you want, you can catch me. And area, it's only purpose of sitting here to promote a physiotherapy to the new level. I finished it at 11:21. Thank you very much. And for organizer, I think everybody's done a great work, reminding me to the time and work, link, and salute to all team members and Santosh. Thank you very much, sir.